I was involved briefly with a married man who believed he had the courage to leave his wife to be with me and to live his truth. This isn't the typical story of a married man promising to leave his wife for a secret lover. Rather, this is a story in part about a gay man who knew he was gay before he got married, but chose to marry a woman because he didn't know how to break free. Rocky and I met on a gay social media site 3 months after I returned to the East Coast to live, and just 11 months after he was married. At the time we met, he was living and working in Dubai as a contractor for the government on a military base, while his wife was stationed in Tallahassee, Florida, where they had a home. In one of the first messages he sent me, Rocky shared that he was married, but that he had regrets. He explained that he had come out to his mother and siblings when he was 18 years old. He said that. To listen to more of One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure, a memoir continued, visit audible.com. Hi, Derek.
Y'all see what happened when I leave Craig by himself? He put up a whole minute commercial when I leave Craig by himself. Hello, Craig. How are you?
I'm amazing, Derek. How are you?
I am well. I haven't seen you in a week.
You know, you've been acting funny.
I have a job now, you guys. I have to go to work. You know, if I want to keep my insurance, I have to go to work. So I'm not with Craig today because I am at work. Mm-hmm. So I'm here. That's what's happening.
And I understand.
So you guys, we know what happened last time we let Craig run the board. You know, so I'm gonna help produce him from here.
I got it this time.
You got it this time. You understand what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So
I need to start with my good day thinkers.
That's what I'll say. Start it off.
Good day thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart.
And I'm Derek J.
And tonight we are discussing bottom shaming.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, this is a little uncomfortable topic for Derek. I'm very much so comfortable talking about sex and sexuality. And we have a few panelists here with us to discuss it as well. And they're going to share with you guys their experiences with either bottoming or being ridiculed for being a bottom in a sexual position, for those of you who may understand what being a bottom is.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, since we're having this conversation and we're here, and this is an open conversation, as you guys know, I can't speak too much to this conversation, but I'm here for moral support for you. But going into the conversation,
support for who? Me?
Well, yeah. Well, I'm here as a team player, not moral support. I'm here as a team player with
Derek. You were right here when we chose these topics together. So how
I did, but you know what? I did, and I was with it, but I didn't understand that it would be such an uncomfortable conversation for me. So, but I'm okay. I'm here. I'm here with it, and I'm here, and we about to rock through it, and I'm with it. Okay. So, with that being said, and starting off this conversation, Craig, I guess can I ask you a question?
I'm listening.
Okay. So, since we're talking about bottom shaming, what is your sexual position, Craig?
Wait a minute now. Wait.
Well, we have to. We have to talk about. We have to be able to talk in context.
I'm here to help facilitate the conversation and to move.
Now you want to facilitate.
Now, if you or anyone is interested in what I like to do sexually, I write very explicitly about it in words.
Well, no, this is only to bring context to the conversation, Craig. So that's how we're gonna do it tonight.
Okay, well, I'll say this.
Well, see, because I have a follow-up question. So what do you say?
Well, let's start with you. We all know that you don't have sex. You haven't had sex before. You're a virgin. That's easy. Let's get that out of the way. Right. And per you.
Don't say that, Craig. That's just stop.
You enjoy oral sex.
Right, there we go. Thank you. That's so much better.
See how I clean that up?
That's so much better, right? So yeah.
So now for me, I enjoy fucking.
I enjoy putting my dick in.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So with that being said, so my question to you, have you been a bottom shamer?
No, I've never been a bottom shamer, but I have been a person that I've been a person where it's like, I don't understand how somebody can do that anonymously, like on a hookup. But I've evolved, and because I'm a person where I'm only going to do that position if I'm in a relationship.
Gotcha.
So that answers your question.
Yes.
But what I will say is, in most of my relationships, I've not had to bottom because I generally attract bottoms.
Gotcha.
There have been maybe 2 relationships that I've been in where they were versatile and I performed versatilely as well. But I didn't crave it. And so I understood that it wasn't that there was something wrong with it. It was just that that's not what I craved sexually, except in the context of a relationship. In the context of a relationship, when there's emotion and you love the person and that kind of thing, and you want to satisfy that person because they also crave that. I've enjoyed it in those instances. But on a regular horny day, my ass ain't twitching. My dick.
So you wouldn't be considered a power bottom.
No. My dick is jumping. My ass ain't twitching. But like I said, but here's what I will tell you though.
Right.
Just in thinking about it and just in conversations in all of my years of being gay, I've seen that a lot of Black gay men, because these conversations are centered on Black LGBTQ people, I've noticed that a lot of Black gay men have issues with being a bottom because it's attached to religion and it's attached to internalized
masculinity and
internalized homophobia, which most of us, not all, but most of us come into this community carrying varying degrees of internalized homophobia because we've been conditioned that being gay is wrong. And for some, they think that if I'm going to be gay, then I'm going to be the top because that's perceived as less gay or less feminine because I'm the top. But I've always told people is if a person has a problem with homosexuality, they don't give a damn if you're on the top or the bottom. Period. They don't care about
it's
that.
all the same.
It's all the same. And I believe that a lot of Black gay men have issues with being a bottom or being in that role because subconsciously they think that they'll say that I don't enjoy it or I don't like it, that ain't my thing, because they don't even want to allow themselves to experience it or to even try it because they think that it emasculates them.
So I will speak from me, just my personal thought process for me. I think that now that I think about it, we talked about it, we have like this discussion, we brought this conversation up. I think that may be a reason why I haven't decided to have sex yet, because of this bottom shaming aspect, and not from a masculine or feminine or aspect of it, but from an aspect of it's so much pressure with that, because I feel like when it comes down to gay sex, I think that they still compare it to heteronormal sex. Like,
exactly.
They expect a man to do the things that a woman would do and function the way a woman would function sexually. And it's like, but physically that can't really happen. And I think that it's such a big pressure to be in that position sexually. So I think that I don't want to have that kind of pressure on my life.
And to that point, don't forget to hit the like button on the videos, guys, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, do all that good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to either one of us. Do all that.
But the other part of it too, Derek, I think that there's this idea that if you're the bottom, then you're the woman in the relationship, which goes to the point that you just made. And what a lot of people don't understand or don't know, and I say this a lot as well, a man's erogenous zone, or G-spot, is in his asshole. And so for all the straight men, heterosexual men who don't like anal play from a woman, haven't really experienced the fullness of their orgasm, I would imagine, right? But yeah, so I mean, I really wanted to flush this conversation out because we have some people on the panel that either identify as a bottom, or I guess they may have bottom shamed, or they feel some sort of, or at some point they may have felt some sort of remorse, and not even, I don't even know if remorse is the word, or felt some sort of shame about being a bottom because of a certain height, because of a certain weight, because of a certain build, or because of a certain masculinity. Because often people assume that bottoms are always hyper feminine. I'm going to tell you that I done knocked down a lot of straight identified looking boys. They look like they're straight, they pass it straight, but baby,
it's a whole nother different thing.
They can take the best dick.
You know, so my comments on my side is coming up slow because I guess my internet is not the fastest. I'm on Craig's old internet. But but you guys, as it's popping up, I don't have a cocktail ready because I'm at work, so I am just gonna wing it and work it through.
We just thank God that you're here right now, because when we were doing that sound check, you kept popping in and out.
Okay, Craig. So are we ready to? So I do. Like I said, my comments coming up. So have we explained what bottom shaming is? Like, do y'all understand what that is?
Okay, so I don't think we did in this conversation. So bottom shaming is basically when people who perform the role as bottom or receivers are shamed or made to feel humiliated because of
they made to feel less than.
Made to feel less than. But somebody has to be the bottom, right?
I mean, it could be top play.
No, at some point I'm going to need to insert.
So who do we have? Who do we have up first? Craig?
We have 4 panelists here, and so I want to bring them in one by one, and I want to start by just introducing yourself if you feel comfortable with giving your name and maybe the city you're in, and just a brief description of why you wanted to participate on this panel, just to kind of give the audience an idea of what we read in your email. All right. So we're going to start with unmute your
You got to unmute your mic.
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Awesome. So sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So I'm Brennan, and I'm from Chicago. I'm 30, which I'm denying because I had to spend my birthday in quarantine. So I'm older than 29. And for me, I don't identify as a bottom, but because of my aesthetic, like I'm 5'11", but I'm juicy, and I like nail polish and all types of shit. So,
you wear nail polish?
Yeah, occasionally.
And you mentioned
I look like.
I remember,
look like all the time, honey. Not occasional.
Yeah, that don't
look like a full dude.
Look, that don't look like that doesn't look like a girl that only wears nail polish occasionally.
Well, so my work, I usually can't. So since we locked in the house, I can.
Okay. Yeah. But I remember in your email you were saying that also because of your voice, the pitch in your voice.
And I don't know how it's coming through like on the mic, but in person, or at least from what I'm hearing, my voice is like high. So I always got the questions like, do you sing? Or people just assume that that even in the way I would move, I guess, through life would be a little more feminine accent. And I'm just like, no, my voice high. That's some shit I can't control. That's genetic. But I like boy stuff, that type of thing.
Okay. So now, you said, but you don't identify as a bottom, but Well, is identify the right word? Is that that's just not your sexual position? Identify is like.
Well, yeah. Do you identify as a bottom? Like, is that your sexual position that you prefer?
So that's another conversation within itself. I believe that gay sex should be free. Titles and roles and all of that is restrictive for me. So I prefer to do whatever comes up.
But is it, or what you saying to us is that typically people assume that you're a bottom because of the nails
and the why I said female. So typically it's just like whether I meet a guy randomly or for some extensive amount of time, you just hold conversation with somebody over the years. It's always, well, you must have been getting your back blown out and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, sweetie, dick's not really high on my menu. It's an option, but it's not at the top of my list of things I want when we go to the bedroom.
Gotcha. Yeah. So would you consider yourself a feminine type, or you don't think you're feminine at all?
It's not that I don't. I think I'm somewhere in between the two. I don't.
Yeah, you in between the two, all right.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in between the two. No, I don't think I'm the most masculine, but I don't think I'm the most feminine either.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
Look, Brandon, chaos no mind laughing. I just huh?
I said y'all are fine.
Oh, okay. So when it comes down to this, so when it comes down to this conversation, so have you found yourself being because since you're not one, but do you find yourself bottom shaming other people? Or do you find like, even though I know that's what you like, but do you feel like, people are like, are you too big to be a bottom? Are you this? Are you too that? Like, do you fall to that category of that with people?
Not me pointing the finger, but I've definitely, obviously gotten it because even without the nail polish, my aesthetic, just like minus, being close, the beard, the lot, people were looking at me at a picture. It's just like, well, that's a dude, depending on what the outfit is, like a dude. So I've gotten it before, but for me, I've seen it
that ain't.
We couldn't really hear
that ain't my internet, child. I'm good.
Yeah, your mic is very low.
So click it down. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna come back to you, Brandon.
We're gonna come right back, Brandon.
All right. Unmute your mic.
Got it.
Okay. Is it Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan. Yes.
Okay. Hey, Ryan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm well, thank you.
So I know you're in North Carolina.
Yes, but from Baltimore.
But you're from Baltimore. How old are you?
I'm 23.
23.
Okay, that's around. That's the age Craig like. 23. Oh my God! So how do you? You saw this conversation coming up, and then why did you want to be involved in this conversation?
I actually watched the last video you guys did about age situation, and
yes.
my son is actually like 12 years older than me. So yeah, I met him when I was like 19. He was 30. So, and we were together for 3 years. Just recently, kind of, yeah. So after I saw that, and you guys talked about bottom shaming, it kind of made me think about that relationship, and I was like, okay, we had situations that was intertwined into it. So, I identify as a verse fully. I like both parts of the male. I do enjoy fellatio, receiving and giving, but I do enjoy both.
You see I'm sorry. You see how classy he said that? You did good earlier, though. But I'm just saying, he just see how classy that was. But okay, but go ahead.
Some people like it gritty and raw.
I am both. But I mean, for the most part, it was always like we were good. We would we do what we do, have sex, whatever. And then it would be some times where he just seemed like he wanted to bottom, and I wasn't ready, and that was when I became at fault for bottom shaming, and I didn't realize I was, because he was very masculine. And I was like, and I feel like it's going to be repetitive tonight probably, but it is a toxic masculinity thing that we learn from society, and I feel like also I study psychology. So I remember I did a literature review my junior year in college, and it was about internalized homophobia and hypermasculinity in the LGBT community. So it was mainly like I got too into the mindset of like, okay, this guy is masculine, he had dreads, like the last one said, like you have an image, and we're so stuck on images that like as soon as we see somebody, it's like, oh, they're about him, or he's the top, or he's trade, like it's whatever, like, you know? So you get to that mindset, and then once you get to that mindset, it's like you're stuck in that. So with me, once I started dating him, I was like, he's masculine, he wants to top me, that's it. We don't have to do nothing else. So then once he wanted to bottom, it was like, oh, he wants me to get.
How long into the relationship did he want to bottom?
It was probably like after a year, almost a year.
And so, how did he say it? Did he feel did you perceive that he was uncomfortable asking you? Like, how did he?
I feel like he also has some insecurities. He has like toxic masculinity, so he didn't want to like blatantly say it out to me. He didn't want to be like, okay, fine. But like it was more so when we're doing something, it's grabbing my hand, making me touch him on his ass or something. Like it was like, you know.
He would just lead you, kind of guide you.
Exactly. And I was just like, oh, is that what you want? Like,
let's look at something you said. You said you looked at him a certain kind of way because he wanted you to fuck him.
Exactly.
No. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. No, he did. No, he did say that. Yeah. Well, he said that he said that he didn't realize that he was doing the shaming.
He was bottom shaming, right?
Yes.
Because he had a certain perception of this masculine guy.
Exactly.
So how did you overcome that? And did it affect your relationship in a sense where maybe you lost interest in him because you saw that as him being feminine or something?
Definitely not. I didn't care about that. It was more so just now changing my mindset of like, okay, he wants me to have sex. Like he wants me to fuck him. Like I just had to get out that mindset. Like, okay, every day, let me go, douche, get ready, because he about to fuck me. Like, that was my mindset. So after, like, almost the year, I was like, okay, let me get ready, do this. And it happened. It was different for me. Because,
but like, did it change your perception? Did it change your perception of him?
Slightly. I will be honest. Slightly, it did. And it wasn't negative. It wasn't wholeheartedly negative perception.
That's what I'm trying to get to. So how did that affect you?
It was more so like he just, I don't know how to describe it. He wasn't who I don't want to say thought he was, but who I met. Like, it was like, okay, I'm not mad at you for wanting dick because you're a good man, but it's also like when you gave off that perception that, okay, you're just going to be topping me, it was just.
But did he give off that perception?
Or is that what you wanted?
Yeah, he did. When we first met, he was like, I don't do that. But then after a while, I was like, can you like, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that you wanted me to do that all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, because sex, I believe that sex, like, you know, there may be things that you may not be interested in when you first start having sex. Like, and I'm going to just be raw. Now, y'all just may not like it, but fine. Yeah. But, you know, when you first start sucking dick, you may just want to suck dick. And when he about to come, you ready to move it. But you might evolve to want to catch that milkshake.
Sure. That is true.
And that's not my speed. That's not my energy. But I'm just trying to give you an example. So it's like, you know, sexuality, you grow within the relationship, and you also grow in your sexuality, in your sexual relationship too.
That made the first year very interesting. After that, though, it went pretty steady. So, yeah.
Okay. Because some may have felt, well, let me ask you this. Do you identify as masculine, feminine, in between? Like, how do you?
I say in between, because I have my both moments. Like, I'm just me. Like,
and the reason I asked is because some guys will let you top them if you have a certain masculine energy. But if you don't have that masculine energy, they're like, oh, you're not about to climb my back.
Exactly. Right. That's the thing. And then I have issues with that as well, in the opposite perspective, because then it's like, people see me like, oh, you're too skinny to be a bottom.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, okay. Or you're too tall to be a bottom. I'm just like, so when you mentioned that, I was like, I definitely identify with that, because I get that way too much. I'm like, okay.
So you did it from, so you are a shamer and you've been shamed.
Yeah. So let me do this. Like I studied LGBT studies in college. So I was like, this is my forte. Let me get in here. Like,
so my question to you is that, how do you still have those type of biases in you now, where you would see somebody and feel that they are in this position, and are you open to a masculine guy being open with you up front with that, and then that's how it goes? Or do you like? Am I asking that correctly?
I definitely understand. Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
I feel like I've grown, because again, that was when I was like 19, 20. It's only been like 2 years, but I feel like I've been through a lot in the last 3 years, to where I could say like, okay, if I meet someone who's upfront about what they want and who they are, then I'm more receptive of that. But if you're not, then I'm just gonna be confused. I'm gonna be like, okay, what do you want to do? Like, am I doing this, or like, I don't know. So being averse, I feel like it can go either way for me. But if they're not telling me what they want, then I can't help them. That's how I feel.
Gotcha.
I have a different kind of a question.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
actually, I have two. The first one is, give us the example of when you were shamed for being a bottom or enjoying being a bottom.
Okay. I would probably say close to when I lost my virginity. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 18. So, yeah. After that happened, it would be, you know, the Jack situations. Everyone knows that, Black gay community. Meeting people, and then it would be, okay, we meet. I don't want to toot my own horn, but skinny, tall, Black gay men are known for, you know, holding weight in the front.
So are you saying you're a skinny, tall Black man?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Correct.
So in other words, for the people who really didn't catch that, he said he was a big dick. Go ahead.
Thank you. But then I don't have an ass. So it's like, people like, okay, you want a bottom? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't have an ass. And they would always be like, okay, well, your ass is small. So I feel like you should just like, let's just beat off and like chill. And I'm like, okay.
So you guys, little booties get discriminated against?
Yeah, little booties matter though. Little booties definitely matter. I don't feel like it's about the size. It's definitely about how you throw it back. So that's how I feel.
Okay, so now my other question that I said was a little more involved is, as a person who enjoys being the bottom, you were in a relationship, you said you guys were together for 3 years. How do you know when y'all gonna fuck? Like, how do you know when to prepare? Or is it something that you just prepare every night before you go to bed? Like, how do you manage that?
It was typically when I knew we were going out. If we're going out, we were getting lit, it was gonna happen. Let me go in the bathroom for a while before he like is getting his thoughts together. And then sometimes I wouldn't even prepare because I knew like my body. A lot of people say they know their body and then they be paying, but I actually knew my body. Never happened. But I knew what happened. We do it and it's like, okay, cool. And then after, I just always felt like, okay, he wants more. And
so,
like, no.
So you would prepare before you guys went out to the club or went out for wherever you were going. Is that what you're saying? Okay. So that when you came home, you could just, well, he could just dive right in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm sure while you were preparing, he was preparing too. You just
so at some point, he sure did.
There's been many times when he was preparing when I would sleep, and then he would like come into bed and was like, I want this to happen, and I was like, oh.
Oh, so he would do it while you were sleeping. So was it shame to go and prepare first?
I don't know. But I know like it would always happen when I was asleep. So I would always wake up and he would just try to, and I was just, okay, I'm not ready.
you who would say I'm not ready? You?
Me, mentally. Like I was just like, because then sometimes, just being honest, because I'm a real blunt person, like I would just automatically my erection will go down sometimes. And again, that's my mindset. Like I was like, this magical man wants me to top him and I'm not ready. Like beginning, I was just not ready.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
so you hold right there, Ryan. We're gonna bring another person up, but we like to bring everybody back up again and have a quick round table just to kind of round the conversation off. But thank you for your honesty.
Thank you,
Ryan.
Yeah. All right, Christopher, you're up. Unmute your mic for me, please. Okay, Christopher, if you don't mind, would you tell us where you are and how old you are, if that's okay?
How y'all doing? I am in the Bronx, New York. I'm 33.
Okay.
And
well,
that's too old for Craig.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Would you do us a favor and share with the audience, like what kind of a little bit about what you said to us in the email, what you wanted to contribute to this conversation.
I think I'm one of those guys you were talking about that's often expected to be in the top role, because of my demeanor, I guess, and because of how people perceive me. So they expect me to be a top all the time, when in actuality I am verse. But like I said in the email, like I'm kind of like a versatile top by force, because that's who's interested in me.
So you don't
More
really
bottoms
want to
are
be a
interested in
top.
me. I mean, I love being a top. Like I love ass equally, as I love penis. So it's like it's an equal thing. So but I feel like sometimes I get tired of playing that role. Sometimes I want to do something different, and those avenues aren't always available for me.
So,
and I do get judged. So
you get judged for what? Wanting to bottom?
Yeah, because people don't see me in that way. Yeah, and yeah, basically.
So it's 7:30 in the morning. You're just waking up. Your dick is hard. Do you want to be topped or you want to top?
My dick is hard. I want to top. I want to top. Okay. I mean, I'm when I'm with a bottom, I'm more of a pleaser. So I want to please you. So I probably want to eat your ass. I want to do. I mean, if it's 7:30 in the morning, I don't know. It depends on the situation. Everybody got to be clean. But
wait a minute. So you saying at 7:30 in the morning, you don't know if you can eat ass because you don't know if it's clean.
I mean, what did we do the night before?
I don't know what kind of ass before. I don't know what kind of ass he got getting in his bed. You should be able to eat that ass in the morning because you know the shower.
I mean, you can never be too sure. You have to be sure. That's all. So. But yeah, I would probably want to be the top in that situation if it's like 7:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. So my question for you is this: so you have this demeanor and people have this perception of who you are. So then, when you do you find, I guess, tops that want a masculine bottom, or do bottoms have to always be feminine? Like, do you have trouble finding that situation for you?
Yeah. Often, to be honest, I'm not masculine enough for the tops that want a masculine bottom. They want somebody who's DL or somebody who, straight acting or whatever. And I'm masculine, but I'm not DL. I'm very upfront about my sexuality. And if somebody asks me, I'm gonna be upfront about it. So they want somebody who's DL, who's in that lifestyle of being DL. And I'm not feminine enough for the guys who want a feminine guy. So I'm kind of in the middle. So I kind of don't fit in anywhere with, so. But I do find a lot of guys who want.
Well, I didn't even know that was an issue, because you know what I'm saying. Because the thing is that I guess for being from, people consider me feminine.
Wait. People consider you feminine. People.
Wait, there's so many folks not over there.
Didn't he fall out?
Well, people consider, so you always get the tops that say they don't want a feminine bottom, they want a masculine bottom. But then to see somebody that's masculine presenting, and you telling me that you're not masculine enough, so it's like, well, Jesus, what do these people want?
I mean, I think it's all in where you're at too, because I'm in New York, so people's idea of masculine is you being thugged out or you being some hood nigga or some shit like that. So that's their idea of masculine, which they don't really even know the real definition of what masculinity is. So that's their idea, and somebody who's messes with girls, so that's their idea of masculine. But I guess that's where I'm at. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you feel like that you are not adequately pleasing your sexual desires because you can't get what you need to get because of the perception put on you?
I mean, I do get what I can get, but it's hard out here. I mean, it's hard, but I do get what I want sometimes. But I mean, I'm just expected to be something that people want me to be, and I find myself trying to be that person for people. And at 33, I'm just now being more comfortable saying out loud that yes, I am versed, instead of trying to fit into maybe the persona that people want me to be. You know what I mean? Like the rep of being a top. So now I was like, I don't care. Like if you like, I'm versed. Yeah, you know.
I have a question for you. So it's two-part. So what type of guy do you typically attract? And the other part of it is, well, it's not, this isn't really a question. It's more so you mentioned like the DL community or the guys who prefer masculine or a really masculine bottom. Because what always baffles me about that is you want this guy to be extremely masculine. Those who have masculinity issues, you want a guy to be extremely masculine, but you want him to be able to put his legs behind his ears and get fucked. And generally speaking, the guys that are most masculine like that usually have issues around their sexuality where they're not that fluid in the bedroom.
Right.
So going back to my initial question was, what type of guy do you typically attract? Is it a feminine guy or is it a masculine guy? What?
I attract younger twink bottoms. So I attract younger guys that may be like on the petite side. For some reason, I don't know. But yeah, and more 90% feminine, maybe 10%, maybe a little masculine. But yeah, mostly feminine bottoms. Yeah.
So what damn, I was gonna ask you. Oh, explain what a twink is for the people that are listening.
To me, because everybody have their own idea of what a twink is. My idea of a twink is somebody who's younger, somebody who is a certain, like, they're slim, they're petite, they look younger than they may be, or they are younger. Yeah, like a smaller, younger looking, slimmer, petite guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Craig, go back to that to NTOITMW.
Oh, he asked, is verse the new bottom?
And I personally believe that is my answer to that question is yes. That's just me. But that's my answer to the question.
Well, somebody else just said verse is another word for bottom to some gay men.
Yeah. I mean, because
yeah, and that's sad, because if I'm, like I said before, like in the email, like if I'm a top 90% of the time and I bottom 10% of the time, now I'm a bottom because.
But in your case, but you only top 90% of the time because you can't find the person that want to top you 90% of the time. I think if it was the other way around, you would prefer to be bottom. You'll prefer to be top.
Not all the time. I want it to be 50-50. I don't want it to be. I don't prefer to be bottom. I just would like it to be a level playing field.
And see, I think, to your point, I think that in a relationship, if both people have those desires for both, I think it should be that way. I don't think it should be a thing of, well, no, I'm a top. And so, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody, because I enjoy gay sex.
Right.
Period. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying to you is I have to be in a certain mental space with you to be able to do that. And so I haven't been in that mental space with a lot of people. And again, like I said at the beginning of the conversation, most of the guys that I've been in relationships with, because I don't do that casually, most of the guys that I've been in relationships with were bottoms. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have that, issue. But somebody, I left this comment up here because he said that's one thing about most white guys. They really don't care about the top bottom thing, and they be so kinky. I wish there were more kinky black men.
Well, so let's drop him down, Craig, and let's have a discussion. But we're gonna bring you right back up, okay?
All right. We got one more.
I know we got one more, but let's jump into that, and then also click the link down there because I see a lot of people in this conversation want to get into the conversation. So you can throw the link in there. I can do it.
I don't know where everybody was when we were advertising this.
Right.
Now all of a sudden y'all want to talk.
Right, everybody want to talk. So you guys, Craig just dropped the link in the YouTube there. So if you want to have this conversation, join in. But I feel like, well, you know, with that statement that he was made about this being more kinkier. The thing is that, you know, as Black people, we are, when it comes to sex, we are very demure conservative when it comes to sex. It's very, so we don't have those conversations. You don't do those type of things. Now, a lot of people, you know, they have their sexual experiences through the streets, really. You know, it's not really a conversation that it's not really a conversation that we have. So that's why I feel that, you know, black men and Black women just are very conservative when it comes to sex.
Yeah. And to your point about Black folks being really conservative when it comes to sex, because I know when I was in high school, baby, it was almost offensive to say that a Black girl was sucking dick. Oh, you know,
you know
Andre's dick, bitch. That was fighting words.
Well, I was ready to fight you too, Craig.
Girl, you said it on the live yourself that you suck dick and you suck dick well.
Here we go. You see? I know you're gonna sign in here.
You brought it up.
But can we think about our next person, please?
But I'm just saying, like that was only 20 years ago where people were, you know, offended if you said they suck dick. But it's like now you got women like, "Chow, yeah, I suck this dick." And you know what I'm saying? I'm saying women because that's a whole different conversation between, you know, separate from talking about gay men and talking openly about sex.
And for some people, high school was more than 20 years ago for you. But you know,
fuck you, girl.
You bring the next person up, please, Craig.
Okay, we're gonna bring on. Tell me your name, please. Is it Trente?
Trente. That's a stage name, but my real name is Trent. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Trent. How are you tonight?
I'm great.
Trent didn't want to be seen. He didn't want to be seen. He only wanted to be heard.
Where's his picture?
Well, we see his picture, right?
We see his picture, but it's okay.
Tell me what he told me when we did the sound check, okay?
Okay, it's fine. Well, how are you tonight, Trent?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So, first of all, how old are you? Where are you from? And how do you fit into this conversation?
I am 43. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm a songwriter. And I'm sorry. And I'm so used to saying that. And I identify as a top.
Okay. Now, good. Now, how do you fall into this conversation about bottom shaming? Are you a bottom shamer?
I think I have been a bottom shamer, particularly in my last relationship, because my last boyfriend, he was only submissive in the bedroom. Other than that, it was like two niggas trying to drive a car at the same time. And he was a very feminine man, and I'm attracted to very feminine men. But he was like the quintessential stereotypical feminine guy, but he was very wealthy and came from a wealthy family, so he was very bossy and always wanted to be in control. Only submissive in the bedroom.
So he had masculine energy.
He did. I mean, it's funny because if you knew how feminine he was, but yeah, he did have masculine energy. He wanted to run everything.
Mm-hmm. And so as far as for you, yeah, you didn't like the way that made you feel or something?
Well, I just kind of assumed because he was feminine and petite and the kind of guy that I liked, I just kind of assumed that he would kind of fall into that submissive role in every aspect of the relationship, but that wasn't the case.
And how long were you guys together?
Off and on for about 4 years.
And was it because you had such a dominant personality?
We were both Gemini, so it was bad.
So when dating and when having a gay relationship, you fall into heteronormal stereotypes of what a relationship should be like.
I mean, you could say that because I guess you could kind of consider me like a traditional kind of guy. I'm just not into masculine men at all. I'm attracted to all
Really?
men. I'm not into masculine men at all. I don't want to date anybody who looks like me or sounds like me. I want somebody who looks and acts and walks
Like Derek.
Yeah.
Like nail polish and stuff.
Well, no, not women's attire or high heels or anything like that. Just let's put it. Let's put it.
Okay, Trent.
Hold on 1 second, Trent.
Don't fight Trent. Don't follow
I got to get this bitch back for saying I was out of high school for longer than 20 years. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Trent, don't fall into his trap, Trent.
As long as I'm a very proud gay man, and when I go out with the guy that I'm with, the young man that I'm with, I want everybody to know that he's with me. And I don't have a problem with anybody knowing that he's gay or that I'm gay, but I do like the masculine feminine dynamic. I like that.
Gotcha.
I got two quick questions for you.
Go ahead, Craig.
So, one, have you ever bottomed?
No.
So you never even attempted?
No desire.
How do you know you have no desire if you've never attempted?
Okay, let me tell you this story. I was like 18 years old, and I looked in the back of one of like the dirty magazines where you could like order the sex toys and stuff like that. And I didn't even really want to order like a dildo, but I was like, well, I'm gay, so I might as well try to start getting used to this. I was like maybe 17, 18 years old. So when I got it and I tried to like use it, I was just like, you know what? I must not be gay because I don't like this.
Well, you may have needed some assistance.
No, because I really didn't want to do it in the first place, and I just kind of felt like I had to.
Do not fall into Craig's traps.
You may have needed some assistance. You may have needed a little licky down there. Let me ask you this: so, do you enjoy having your salad tossed?
No.
Because see, and the reason I ask you that is because a lot of guys who have that perception like you, they don't even allow, and I choose that word carefully, they don't even allow their partner to eat them out or toss their salad, however you want to say it, because I really believe that they're afraid that they're going to enjoy that so much that they're going to want to take the next step.
For me, I'm like I told you, I'm traditional. And another thing about me is I like a woman's vagina, but I'm not attracted to women. I'll have sex with them, but I've never had a relationship with a woman. And to me, it's all pussy to me. And I think that's why I like the feminine dynamic of a gay young man.
Are you attracted to trans? Are you attracted to trans women?
No.
Someone asked that in the comments. Okay, now the other point that I want to make based on what you said is really interesting that you are drawn to feminine men exclusively. And I say that because in the community, a lot of times, Black gay men, we're talking about Black gay men oftentimes try to mask that feminine energy because they think that it's going to draw in, you know what I'm saying? You feel like you have to hide that. Interesting. And I say all the time, whatever you're looking for is also looking for you. So for those people who feel like they have to try to hide and pretend to be something that they aren't, you know, here's living proof that, you know, there are men who enjoy feminine men.
And another thing I want to mention is it's not like I haven't been with men who were masculine because they wanted to date me, but I would explain to them like before it got sexual that, you know, you can just let go and just really be yourself, you know, when if we're gonna have sex, and every time, you know, the legs go up and it sounds like I'm having sex with a woman, which that's like a huge turn on for me. So even when they're masculine presenting, and this has only been a few times, they still get femme at a particular point. If they're not just, you know, femme all the time and a twink and all of the stuff that I like.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thank you for your insight on that, Trent. We're gonna drop you down, but we'll bring you back up to do a last, last roundup conversation.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
We got a few more people that came on in here.
Oh, now they want to talk.
Yeah, right.
Now you want to talk.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey y'all, sorry I look kind of crazy.
Hey, Kyle. Where were you at, Kyle, when we was calling people last week?
I apologize. Life was
okay.
happening. Life was happening.
No, it's okay, Kyle. But how are you? So how old are you? Where are you from?
26. I'm from Atlanta.
And Kyle,
Okay,
you were on our panel before.
Yeah, about
Right.
ageism.
About ageism,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. So now we're talking about bottom shaming. Now
Yeah.
have you been shamed or are you a shamer?
I have not been shamed, and I've not been a shamer either, but I have witnessed people be shamed for being a bottom.
Now, how do you
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, it is. It is bizarre to me that people. The topic of sex has always been taboo, whether you're part of the LGBTQ community or just the heterosexual community. But I think it's just a bizarre concept because my thing is, well, what are all the tops doing? You know, I mean, if you're in a relationship or in a entanglement with someone who is also a top and you identify as a top, or if you're a bottom or with someone who identifies as a bottom, it's kind of like, well, what? Granted, there are other things that you can do, but in the traditional terms, what do you expect to get from that kind of interaction?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you identify as top, bottom, verse? Or?
I identify as verse, but in my relationship currently, I predominantly bottom.
So, is that a compromise for you? Do you feel satisfied sexually? Do you feel?
I do, because I don't. I don't pigeonhole myself to only be able to experience one aspect of a sexual relationship. I like to experience them all. I'm just a sexual person. So I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm only able to experience sex one-dimensionally. I mean, I feel like sex is way too complex to only be stuck in one, granted, to each their own. But for me personally, I feel like sex is way too complex of a interaction to only experience one part of it.
So you enjoy, you're mostly a bottom in this relationship, but there are moments where you...
Yes, top.
Okay. Okay.
Now, when you say you experience people being bottom shamed, what have you experienced, seeing, or hearing?
To me, it just comes across as, I kind of view it as let me not say everybody. The person that I experienced doing the bottom shaming, it came across to me as being very insecure and immature. Just because I think a lot of that tends to be rooted in either some kind of toxic masculinity or some kind of repressed issues or emotions or experiences that haven't been dealt with. And so now you have a perception of what it means to not only be a bottom, but what it means to interact with someone who is a bottom. If you're a bottom, then you have to abide by these rules. If you're, it's the same as, it's just stereotypes. The same as being black. Well, you're black, so you must be a thug, or you must, this, that, and the third. And so I think that a lot of things come with that, and people just adopt those mentalities and just kind of are comfortable and complacent staying in that. And then you have this whole bottom shaming thing, and then here you are having issues within the gay community.
Well, somebody go ahead. I'm sorry.
We probably about to say the same thing. Which comment?
The comment where somebody say, in the gay relationship, if you start as a bottom, you got to finish as a bottom.
Yes. So the thing is like, can you unbottom? Because I feel.
You what?
Can you unbottom?
Not unbottom.
Can you unbottom? I mean, because the thing is, I fall into that thought process, and I'm working on my stereotypes and my perceptions of people. So yeah, I'm like that too. I'm like that child. Now wait a minute, girl. Now, okay, because it's okay. Prime example. It's this guy that used to come to my salon all the time, and he was a big flaming homosexual. Like he was, honey, a mess. But then 7 years later, now he's this masculine, attractive man that you never. I was like, but in my mind, I still see this bottom. I was like, can you So I'm like, girl, I know what you're doing now, but I know what you used to do, girl. You was a nasty power bottom girl.
Wait.
How can you?
Hold on.
I'm bottom shaming.
No. But you're making the assumption that he was a bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
He had to be.
Here's my thing.
But there are people who probably think you're a bottom, and you've never even had intercourse.
Right. Okay. Hold on. Y'all know I'm at work, so hold me on.
Right.
Jay.
Let me mute you real quick.
Yeah.
But the thing too is, to that point, when I came into this community, very conservative, and I came in very conservative, and there were certain things that I just didn't do because I associated that with being feminine. Like, for example, like how President Obama always sits with his legs crossed like this. I never sat like that because I identified that as something gay. But I know a lot of straight men that do that. But for me, I stayed away from it because I associated that with being gay, right?
Well, I think an interesting point to make too is that.
Wait, let me finish the point. But the other part of it is when I came into this community and I got more, because I don't use the word lifestyle, but when I came into this community and I got really comfortable in my sexuality and I started to develop gay friends and I started to move in gay circles and go to attend gay prides and clubs and parties, I started to get more comfortable with myself because of the people who ushered me into the community. The people that ushered me into the community were more to the feminine side. So at one point I had platinum blonde hair. And then I realized as I continued to matriculate that that's not who I am and that's not what I have to do to be gay.
Right.
And I think sometimes we have this idea when we before we come into this community of what gay looks like.
Right. It's not a monolith
in this community. And so I had to identify or retrain myself.
Right.
To see it, as, what it was for me. I had to make gay what it was for me. I didn't have to be like everybody else. Right.
You had to challenge your perceptions and your preconceived notions of what you thought it meant.
And what I was taught by the people who ushered me into the community.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's an interesting
niche.
I think it's an interesting point that Derek J was making, because I think there's this people tend to be very linear in their thinking, meaning that okay, if your gender expression is flamboyant or feminine or exaggerated, then you have to be, or you must be a bottom. And that, and even in how you dress, just because a man may wear 6-inch heels and a tight, leather pants or in a crop top or something, doesn't mean that he's a bottom. He may not have never even bottomed in his life. He may just enjoy topping. And so I think you can't automatically associate, although I get why people do, because that's just kind of how society works. But I don't think you can just automatically associate someone's expression and how they express themselves in their sexuality with how they are in the bedroom.
Right. Exactly. Well, yeah. Thank you for that point. I appreciate that point.
No problem.
All right. So just stay by. I'm going to drop you down, and because we have other people down here that want to contribute. All right. There was another guy in here and he's gone. Where did he go? Alicia.
Hey.
Hi there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Well, I put my headphones in, it'll be better.
Okay.
Can you hear me? All right. Hey. I'm a big fan. I'm happy I actually got in.
Thank you.
Hi. I'm sorry if the lighting's kind of bad. I'm in my kitchen. I'm on my phone.
Oh, no, you're fine.
But yeah. Oh, so yeah. So I am a gay male. It's just Alicia. I also do drag as well. So when I get my coinage in my virtual shows, I do like my Gmail through my drag name. So in case anyone was like, what's going on? That's what's going on.
Oh, okay. So what did you want to contribute?
I wanted to ask, so I how do I say this? I wanted to just chime in our language and tone. Is not policing the host, because you guys didn't say anything wrong. It was some of the comments in the comment section. So even actually the person you invited on. So the idea of traditional, I think we have to be mindful as queer people, because we are queer, we do not have to follow heteronormativity. So the fact that we're thinking or using the terms of I'm not trying to call anyone out, I'm just going to call them in. But instead of using the terms of traditional, we ain't straight. We don't have to deal with all that bullshit. There's no point of being traditional when we are not even within that spectrum, because when we use words like traditional, what we're doing is internalizing and perpetuating and upholding problematic behavior. So when you say traditional, you're attesting certain gender roles and types of femininity and certain gender roles and types of masculinity, which we've seen here, because even you guys were asking, you brought up before, just because you're masculine doesn't mean you're top. I mean, just because you're masculine doesn't mean you can't bottom, but that's the result of being traditional. When you're traditional, you create these, rigid understandings of gender. So I wouldn't say, I also feel like being queer, I feel like we just fuck all of that shit. Like you said before, it's gay sex. If you a top, get your ass eaten. Oh, well, let me make ice statements. For me specifically, I do drag, and believe it or not, out of drag I bottom, but in drag I have been asked to top more.
Oh, I'm about to say, girl, I thought you said, well, now wait a minute now.
And the thing is, the men who want me to top them are these masculine presenting men. And to me, here's the thing. So me being like the bubbly Miss Bottom thing, I'm just like, oh girl, I'm going with the tray, after the bar. And my, I'm in Newark, New Jersey. So like we're in New York City, in the Monster area. So I got my 2 condoms, lube, I'm prepared. And then, after the geesh, I shower off and the guy's like, oh, I want you to keep the makeup on. I'm like, so it gets to the point, I'm just like, so it gets to this idea that he still wants this femininity. So sometimes I take the makeup off, even if I'm in drag, so it depends on the guy. But, I'm getting ready, I'm assuming position, we sucking and fucking everything. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And he's like, oh no, I want you to fuck me. And I'm just like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this. So like, there's been moments where like, me personally, I don't even know if I identify as a verse or verse bottom, if that's a thing. Because it's like, personally, I do prefer the bottom, but I would like to find a partner where I can top too. Like I want a man who wants some finger up his ass. I want a man who every now and then I can calm his back. Not even just to be funny, but I just feel like I'm a gay man. Why would I limit myself to one position for the rest of my life? Like you brought up the conversation earlier. Can you turn into can you lead? Can you stop being a bottom to a top?
He said, can you unbottom?
Yes, because when you guys are in a couple, say if you are monogamous or polyamorous, and y'all together for 50 years, someone's going to get erectile dysfunction. So
wait, say that again. Say that again.
Say if you're in a monogamous or a polyamorous relationship, and whatever, you're with that person for a couple amount of years. Hopefully, you're with them for a while. Maybe the top gets erectile dysfunction, but the bottom isn't. So
the roles have to reverse.
They don't have to reverse, but someone's going to have to touch that prostate some way, somehow to get that nut. That's all I'm saying. It can be through penetration. It can be through toys.
Well, I guess when I say bottom, because when you're talking to a heteronormal state, if a straight man, dibble dabbled in gayness, he never, because he still has the stereotype of being gay. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like from the bottom standpoint, I just feel like if you bottom for 15 years and like now you just a top right now, like that's and maybe that's me, and that's probably me being judgmental. So that's just what I do.
No, I don't know. It's not that I'm disagreeing or agree. I'm just adding to it because I also feel as if for me it's like, now again, I'm single, I'm 25, so I haven't been obviously I've had sex with you before, but I haven't been, intimate or long relationship with someone. So the issue for me is more or less, I feel like if I'm going to be with you in a relationship, I personally feel as if we'll be close enough where we can explore those things and be able to like, okay, let's try this tonight. Let's do this tonight. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just don't want to be, and even if it is the case where I'm going to be the bottom relationship for the rest of our relationship, however long that is, I just don't hope that because I'm the bottom that I'm going to be confined to being submissive, doing this position, I was like, let's explore it. That's where I'm coming from. So it's not even a matter of me always penetrating him. It's like, okay, nigga, it's been 10 years. And you say you're in a relationship with someone for 10 years and they never got their ass ate. And I was like, okay, well, let's try something new. Or it's been 10 years and it's like, okay, you never ate my ass, but you want me to give you fellatio. Let's try a different form of, or, something like that. I just feel like being stagnant is the result of, heteronormativity and also internalized homophobia, because it's like Craig said, bitch, I'm gay. Eat my ass. Do it, like, come on. Like, Like I get so angry when I'm in the gay clubs. I'm literally, you know, people as a drag queen, they'll see me, but sometimes as a host in the room, I'm there, but they don't know that I'm there in regards to like I hear what they're saying. So I hear like the trade, like, man, I let no fag eat my ass. You are in a gay bar, honey. And you're talking to gay men. And it's like, well, if you're not, I will, bitch. Like, more for me. So I just that always boggles my mind. Like, what? But yeah, that was it.
Well, thank you. And you know, and even though I walked away, I still hear everything. But thank you for your input. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
And you know, there was a point that I think Alicia made me think of. You know, there are tops, and this speaks to being relegated to certain sexual roles and certain sexual positions. There are a lot of tops that suck dick. Because that's gay, that's too feminine, or you know, whatever it is that they think, you know, going back to that whole toxic masculinity thing. But we have someone else joining us.
Okay. Hey, how you guys doing?
How are you? We're good. How are you doing?
Good. So I just wanted to contribute to the conversation a little bit about where I am in my life. I consider myself to be a feminine top. So, you know, I am, and I'm very proud. I even have a shirt that says feminine top. And I see a lot of like bottom shaming, and it hurts me to see, you know, sex is a two-way street. So you can't get satisfaction unless you're only into oral without having the other end of it. And I see a lot of people say, well, you know, it's about masculinity. It's about, you know, it's about having, you know, the person that's on top being in control. But sex is very fluid, you know. So when you talk about connection, it's more than just, you know, oh, you're fucking me. You know what I'm saying? It's about the interaction that you're having with that person. So I grew up in a household with only my mom, and I love feminine girls. I love hair. I love the way you look. You know, I wear tight pants. Like Derek, I wear like feminine shirts at times, but I've never been penetrated. And every time like I like get hit on, like the other person that was on, is usually about masculine men that are attracted to my femininity and want me to top them.
Well, so now, are you in New York? Because we might have been introduced to our other friend down there that he can't find on top. So
nah, I'm in Miami. I'm a Miami boy. I'm in Miami.
So, Lito, let me ask you this. Have you ever been ridiculed for being a feminine top? Have you ever had, because the kids can be vicious. Have the kids said, oh, girl, please, you ain't topping me.
Yeah.
You ain't climbing my back. So go ahead. So I was going to say, well, has that ever, I guess, scarred you in a sense?
You know, I have 10 brothers and sisters, so I grew up in a household. Yeah, we you know, we throw hands. You know, I can be feminine, but I can throw hands. But I feel like I've been discriminated against when I advertise myself as a feminine top, and people be like, really, how does that work? Well, the same shit it works with a masculine dude gets on his four knees. You know, I can but I think and I think this needs to be studied maybe long as time goes on. There's a psychological component to being gay in the sense of, you know, the component of how you grew up and then how you perceive yourself.
And so, where you grew up, because geographically, when you talk about places like Chicago, and it's harder, relatively speaking, for people to come out and just be who they are. Yeah. I believe that, to add to your point, I believe that there's a PTSD that happens a lot of times for some of us that come out of the closet based on how your friends, your family handle you in the coming out process. I believe there's a traumatic thing that can happen.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I grew up in Connecticut. It's a small state in New England. I had a girlfriend for 5 years, and then I came out the closet when I got into my undergrad. And the transition for me wasn't hard because I was very confident in myself, you know, and the experience I had was very healthy. You know, when I came out of the closet, it was with a grown man. I was in college. It was a nice experience. So I never felt intimidated by the coming out process, but I know people that it's been very intimidated, or they've been through a process that has been traumatic, that influenced their sexual role. You know, about like, oh, I'm a bottom, but I don't like to be touched, or I'm a top and I don't like to be, you know, I don't want, you know, to be sucked, or I don't want my ass to be eaten out. And I think that limits people, but it's a level of comfort that people have to get to. And I think, you know, if they're not in a healthy relationship, we must admit that we live in the hookup generation. You know, there's not a lot of gay people having healthy sexual relationships.
Because just like there are tops who don't want to have their ass ate or they won't suck dick, you have bottoms who don't like their penis touched.
Correct.
At all.
Yeah.
But thank you, Lito. We have a couple other people that we're going to bring in real quick.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for this.
Bye-bye.
Xavier.
Oh, what's good? What's good? What's good?
How are you?
What's good? My bad. I just now I'm running back and forth so I can actually talk to you, dog. I had to grab the headset real quick.
Yeah, I saw you getting out the car, so I was holding on.
Oh yeah, what's good?
So what city are you in?
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay, and how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 28 years old.
Okay, what did you want to say?
Oh no, I just was asking questions, y'all. I thought y'all was asking like about tops, bottoms, and all that.
Yeah, go ahead. What you want to say?
Oh well, I'm strict top, you know what I'm saying? And only time I ever actually bottom is in a relationship, which I am in now, but I play more of the top role, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So have you ever bottom shamed, or have you ever felt shame about bottoming?
Well, I have more of a preconceived notion as far as I'm gonna put my headset in here so y'all don't hear this beeping and stuff right here. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this in. My bad. Can you hear me? Oh yeah. Me, I'm more am a type that has preconceived notions. I'm a short guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm 5'10", you know what I'm saying? So most of the times when people see me, like as far as looking on Instagram or something like that, their first thought is, okay, because my dude, he's taller than I am. You know what I'm saying? He's taller. So they automatically assume that he is the top because he's tall and that I'm the bottom because I'm short, until they actually interact. He has more of a feminine personality. I'm more of a masculine type. You know what I'm saying? So then they're able to see exactly who plays which role, you know?
So now I heard, I was listening. So you said that you have bottom in your relationship though before.
Yeah, well, only one time. See, well, not one time with only one person. Let me keep it like that, because like I said, I've been in a relationship for 9.5 years now. So you know what I'm saying.
North Carolina, if they have relationships long like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I came from a small town where it wasn't many, you know what I'm saying? So both of us actually ended our relationship. Well, it wasn't a relationship at first. We both were actually tops, you know what I'm saying? And we hung out with each other. We just, you know what I'm saying? We chilled. So it took like about a year or so before we actually got in a relationship and stuff like that. So more of he took that role as being the bottom. And, I, kept doing what I'm doing. So you feel me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for adding your input into this.
All right.
I'm going to drop you one last person.
All right.
Okay. And I want to apologize, you guys. I keep leaving, honey.
Child, not I'm last.
Well, Amber,
hey, Craig. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Amber.
I'm just gagging because y'all confusing the shit out of all these straight people in the comments. Like, they don't know what the hell is going on.
Amber, where are you, first of all, and how old are you?
I'm 19. I'm from South Georgia, but I currently live in Middle Georgia. And I identify as a bisexual polyamorous woman.
Okay.
I think a lot of this shit just stem from miseducation and people not knowing their body and coming in with too many preconceived notions, because all this seasonal top versus bottom, all this shit, fucking is fucking. Like, y'all doing too much. Y'all doing entirely too much. All the straight people is mad confused. But no, I think a lot of the shame comes from people with preconceived heterosexual notions and shit. And that's a lot of people that don't even know their body. Like, a lot of these women that be shaming niggas for liking their ass, they ain't even never had an orgasm before.
Exactly.
And niggas is around here oh, if you get your ass ate, that's gay. No, it's not, nigga. You got a prostate. So,
okay.
And that was one of the points that I was making earlier. I'm not sure if you were in here when I was saying that a lot of straight men, and I do mean heterosexual men, have never had their ass ate or they've never had their prostate massaged. You know, I did a whole podcast about, there was a woman who said that she enjoys fingering her man.
Yes, all that.
And a lot of times Black women think that a man is gay or he's on a slippery slope to being gay because he wants her to finger him or to eat his ass. And I'm here to tell you that that does not mean that he wants a man.
It don't. Because anything a nigga do to me, I might want to do that to him too. So.
Okay, Amber.
Whether that be oral, whatever, I'm with all of it.
Girl, I love how ratchet and intelligent you are.
Yes. Multi-dimensional, honey, all that.
And I see you in my comments all the time. You give me money. You make me laugh a lot.
In the comments, talking shit, doing it all.
Always talking shit. She on everything talking shit that I post. You hear me?
And you know, and I know you love some shit talking, Craig.
You know I do.
And Derek, why are you so bashful? We grown.
Well, you know what the thing about it is that, like I said before earlier, this isn't. I don't have sexual conversations. That's just not what.
Why not?
I do. I just don't. So now So Amber, I'm working on it. I'm here today. I think I did very well today. Craig, would you agree?
I do. Yeah.
He a little bit more comfortable than he was last time.
The other day, thank you. The other day was real shaky, but today I worked through it. So yes, I'm with it, Amber. I'm gonna work my way into it. I'm just not as raunchy as Craig is. So y'all like to cuss and talk about it.
Yes, all of that. That's how you get other people that's not comfortable to be comfortable. Like we too grown. Sex, especially in the Black community, growing up, sex, they be making sex like it's such a taboo thing. Like everybody around here fucking. Why is y'all doing all that?
Even the people in the church.
Yep, they fucking, because some of my wildest experiences been with motherfuckers in the church.
Right.
I'm talking about threesomes, all that. Come from motherfuckers in the church. I'm just saying.
Craig, I am gonna let you do the roundup because we are switching scenes right now, and I have to go do some work. Right. Amber, I'm glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Derek.
And all of you, and all of the drop Amber back down, girl. So I can try to have my conversation. Thank you, Amber. And to all the rest of the to the panelists that discussed, thank you for being open. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for all of that. But I got fortunate, like I said, I'm at work and they keep calling my phone, so I got to go back to work. But Craig has the list of what's happening next. We would love to hear from you. I don't know what it is because Craig has a list over there. And yeah. Thank you. And I think I did good. I see you guys in the comments. Thank you guys for helping me and walking me through this conversation. And yes, Craig, I think I did a very good job this week.
Yes, you did.
I did.
You did.
Okay, I will let you do the wrap up.
All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
And listen, y'all, and once again, like we always tell you every week, this is free for y'all, but costs for us. So
speaking of, don't forget to hit our interns Cash App. It's your turn to pay.
Oh yeah, it is my time to pay. I'm gonna pay her right now. So see, y'all. So
if you guys want to support us, hit my Cash App or Derek's Cash App because we pay for this shit. This is not free. But I want to go through it really well before you leave, and I'll do the roundup. But before you guys leave, I want us to announce really quickly what the next conversation is. All right, and that's it.
Oh, yes. Let's see, I can talk about this.
Colorblind. Interracial dating in the gay community.
Yeah, so if you are in an interracial relationship, we would love to talk to you. We want to talk to you. Yes, email us right here at glmconvo at Gmail, and we would love to talk to you because I want to know about, some of the pros and cons of it. Do you go through things? All that good stuff. I want to come down to interracial dating. So Craig, move my Cash App back over on your screen, child. I'm going back to work. I gotta go back to work, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, so listen. So if you want to join that conversation, it's going to be 2 weeks from today. We're going to be talking about interracial relationships in the gay community. You want to email us at glmconvo twinkisagency@gmail.com. That is how you join the conversation. I saw a lot of you saying tonight or asking tonight, how do we join the conversation? How do we join the conversation? That's how you join. Email us a picture, your name, and a phone number, and just tell us briefly why you want to be on in this panel. Either you have opinions about interracial dating in the gay community, or you've participated, or you're currently in a relationship that is interracial. All right. Now I'm going to go through one last time with everybody. We're going to have just quick last final thoughts of anything. If you have something that you want to say. All right. So I'm going to start with my boy Ryan. Any last words?
I would say, after listening to all that, everyone has good points. It's really hard to like remember what everyone said, but I was here. I was like snapping and everything because you made a lot of good points as well. Mm-hmm. I feel like a man just always wants to feel like a man, and sometimes it's usually the top, of course. But then there's also bottoms who want to feel like however they want to feel, and I feel like when we demasculate bottoms, it's like we're taking away from what they want to do. And I feel like personally with my experience that I talked about with my ex-boyfriend, right, it was very hard for me to step into that mindset. So I feel like now that I have like grown out of that, I feel like I can be with someone who is masculine and is like, okay, well, today I want you to fuck me, babe. And I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. As long as they're comfortable with my energy. And I feel like a lot of people have like preconceived ideas of like, okay, you have to be masculine to fuck me. I'm like, well, I'm in between. I'm going to probably like be like, bitch. And then the next day be like, I feel it. Like, it's like, I love to switch it up. So I would want something who's similar. But yeah, this was a great conversation. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Trent, we're going to come back to you. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I have a couple. I feel like I'm being shamed to a degree from what was that a female or a male, Alicia, or gender non-conforming?
Alicia, yeah, he said he identifies as a gay man.
Okay, now for him to say that we should not say, or I felt like he was saying I should not say that I'm traditional. Now I'm being shamed because I don't want to get my ass ate. Now I'm being shamed. I'm also not a guy who's like into dicks. So when I see a guy that I'm interested in, I'm looking at his ass and I'm looking at his mouth and I'm looking at how pretty he is. I'm not interested in his dick necessarily. Do I give head and have I given head before in relationships? Yes, but I kind of feel like the reverse is happening. Now that if you're a masculine top who likes feminine bottoms, now everybody wants you to do the polar opposite to that. Or I don't understand why everybody just can't be what they are. We have tops, we have bottoms, we have verse. I mean, why can't we let's just take it to the extreme. Heterosexual people don't think we should be doing any of this. So who is anybody to bottom shame or top shame? Why can't I say I'm traditional if that's how I feel? I'm gonna get married next year and I'm calling my boyfriend. That's gonna be my wife. That's how I see it. I don't feel like you have to be a female to take on the role of a wife. And I'm pretty sure people would have a problem with that too.
Well, my thing is whatever works for you and your partner. That's what matters.
I mean, exactly. But I just didn't understand the whole, get your ass ate, do this, do that. It's just whatever that you say you don't want to do. It seems like people in this community want to force you to do, or they want to coerce you to do something that you're not comfortable with, or they want to say that you don't like yourself or you're following some kind of heteronormative because you fall in a certain category. I like feminine gay men. I don't like no deep voice nigga. I don't like no nigga taller than me. I don't like none of that. And there's nothing wrong with me. Let's put it this way. I don't have a problem getting no sissy, okay?
But let me ask you this, based on what you just said. You don't want a guy that's taller than you, a guy who has a deeper voice than you. Is it a complex, perhaps? Is it an intimidation factor? Do you think your masculinity is being challenged? Do you think that your masculinity is being threatened?
No. I just love feminine, short, beautiful men. That's what I like.
Right. Okay.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate your input. I'm sure somebody learned and grew from it. Thank you for everything that you contributed.
All right.
Thank you so much. And I'm gonna come back to Brandon.
Awesome. So this was a lot.
See if we can. We can't really hear you. You're really, really low.
I'm gonna turn them off. Hold on. What about now?
That's perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so it was a lot because I was way at the beginning, so it was a lot overall. But from what everybody was saying, I think a lot of everyone's perceptions kept going back to outward aesthetic. And I think that happens with a lot of people. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but a lot of the times we judge a book by its cover. And what we do need to realize, especially within our community, that a lot of the time the aesthetic has nothing to do with what you're feeling on the inside. Like, obviously, what was that, Lido? It's a lot of feminine guys who have no interest in being penetrated. And just like it's a lot of masculine guys who have no interest in penetrating someone. So, yeah, I think once we let go and sure we'll be able to progress a lot more easier without it being so held down and I guess systemic.
Right.
Yeah. Overall, what did I write down? So one more thing. A few people were just kind of leaning into my asses, but my dick is like for the free for all, and how they were saying they were only doing certain things in relationships, and that was kind of intense for me because to me, I am a sex is sex person. So why bottom shame, but then be like, my dick is just for everybody, or for several more people than my hole is.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm holding my sex sacred,
Brandon, we can't hear you. It's going in and out. It's freezing, but we did get the gist of what you were saying. So I'm going to just close you out so we can go to the next person. But thank you.
That's awesome.
Here, I appreciate, what we did here.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Kyle, any final thoughts, final words?
Yeah, just a few points. I did make this comment in the public comments on YouTube, and I was just saying that I think some of the best sex that you can have is sex that's engaging. And someone made a point that it's important to know your body because it's hard to express or explain to someone else what you want or the feeling you're trying to attain if that feeling is foreign to you. So I think it's very important that you have a relationship and a sexual relationship that is well informed and is very engaging. And you're in a space where you feel free and comfortable to communicate what you like and what you don't like, what you're comfortable with, you're not comfortable with, things of that nature. Because I think this whole conversation has kind of been about pigeonholing and like the gentleman said before about aesthetics informing, your preconceived notions or stereotypes about what someone identifies as or how they participate sexually. But I think, like I said before, sex and sexuality is such a broad spectrum. And everyone doesn't fit into the same category. You'll be hard pressed to find even two people that fit into the same category. But I think it's worth taking the time to understand your body, what you like and what you don't like, and then applying that to just kind of how you engage with other people. And don't cut yourself short or cut yourself off from enjoying all types of aspects and parts of sex, regardless of what you like.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for that. Thank you for being here again.
No problem.
All righty. Have a good night.
Bye.
Before we continue on, I need to remind you all that we have some merchandise over at CraigTheWriterStewart.com. We have like face masks for those of you that are black as fuck. We have those. We have also back the fuck up for people who are standing too close to you. But anyway, you can visit over at CraigTheWriterStewart.com. We got three more people. All right. Go ahead, Christopher. Any last words?
I would just like to say, I'll be remiss if I didn't say this, but I just wish at like a community we would stop putting black men into boxes. I feel like we do that a lot. I feel like that goes for everyone, whether it be cisgender women, gay men, trans women. Like, I'm a black man, so I feel like I have to address it. Like, I feel like we're often put in boxes, like we're supposed to be a certain way, or we're supposed to act a certain way, or we're supposed to be a top, or we're supposed to be this, or we're supposed to be that. That's just something I needed to say. Like, I feel like we're often put in boxes, and I just wish people would give us the space in the room to be who we are and to be free and to be and to be open. And I guess that's why there's a lot of black men who repress their sexuality, because they feel like they have to. They feel like they have to be this strong black man. And I feel like, a lot of shit would be different if we were allowed to be ourselves.
Had the latitude to express ourselves in fashion, with hair, in the arts, whatever it is. But yeah, thank you for that. All right. Thank you so much.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye. I'm going to go to Amber. So we're going to hold her till last this time.
Child, I just got to say, life is too short for bad sex. And y'all need to stop with all these labels. And like homeboy before me said, as black people, y'all want black men and women sometimes to be so linear. And sex is not a linear subject. It's so much more broader than what y'all trying to make it seem. And then y'all make the shit too complicated. Just do whatever works for you and in your bedroom. All that extra shit, don't worry about it.
Thank you.
That's all I gotta say. Bye, Craig.
Bye bye. Xavier.
All right, I'm gonna elaborate on what she said. Basically, do what works best for you, your relationship. You know what I'm saying? However you spend your time. And being that you were talking about the mask, let me say for anybody out there still hanging out, doing everything that you're doing, please, I do not want to hang out with nobody that's not carrying at least one bottle of sanitizer. All right. Just like it's the COVID going on, people. All right, like nobody trying to do all that, but best believe, like I said, when it comes to being in a relationship or, you going hanging out, doing things and stuff like that, always do what's best for you, because what works for somebody else is not going to work for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's point blank and period.
Thank you very much, Xavier.
All right. Thank you, Craig.
We appreciate you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Lito, final words.
So I just want to say two things. Two words that come to mind is tolerance. We have to be able, I think that what I appreciate about your platform is that you give the ability for people to have tolerance and educate people. And I think you always said, this is your calling, it's your calling. And I have expectations for you. I want to see this, like the Queen Supreme Court, I want to see you travel this to the nations. And the
Derek and I have talked about that. We've definitely talked about that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna declare that for you. And the second thing is intimacy. That they talk a lot about that. And no matter who you're with and what your sexual preference is, you need to know what's good for you. What works for you, how your body flows, what makes you happy, what the touches that make you quiver, and that's important. And after that, everything flows. We can't judge we can't make everyone understand us, and we can't make everyone accept us. But if we have intimacy with ourselves and tolerance, we're able to take things to any level we want to. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your platform, Derek, as well. I'll continue to follow you. And when you come to Miami, we'll make something happen, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful way to close this out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have an amazing night.
You too.
Okay. So again, everybody, I just want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel, and also share the video, because this conversation is, you know, this conversation will archive. So you can share it in your Facebook groups. You can text the link to your friends, have conversations about it. That's the only way that we move the envelope forward, right? Again, if you want to support me and Derek, here are our Cash Apps, because again, yes, we do pay for this. We pay for the service that we host this through that costs money. And we pay for the flyers to be produced. We pay for our intern who helps us with the emails that come in and reaches out to the people that participate in the panel. So thank you for those of you who are assisting with the cost associated with this. We appreciate you. Remember, the next conversation is called Colorblind. And we're talking about interracial relationships in the gay community, LGBTQ community. So if you're in a relationship or if you just have thoughts about it, all right, we want to hear from you. Here's the email address right here. Email us, send us a picture, send us a very brief explanation for why you want to be on the conversation or the panel, and put a phone number in there so our intern can get in touch with you. All right, thank you for being here. Be safe. Keep loving yourself. Have an amazing night.